This message is for any Asian MAGA out there. We're next. I want to remind you that we are closer to the undocumented immigrants that are being deported right now than we are to them. We have more in common to the undocumented immigrants than we do to them. You remember how quickly MAGA turned on us during COVID, and it didn't matter if you were Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Filipinos. To them, we were just chinks responsible for the China flu. It is foolish and frankly embarrassing that you think just because you wear the red hat that you're going to be spared when your time comes. This country is never going to be pure enough or white enough, and they are never going to accept you the way that you accept them.
Alright guys, so I hope each and every one of us during the campaigns saw these Asians, the Asian community, Asian American community, standing are coming out and supporting Trump. They saying that Trump is a person who can be trusted because he has good policies. But I think they kinda easily forget. They do easily forget because I think back then there are some things that happened to the Asian American community that I will share with you, that if I were part of the Asian American community, I would have voted for this guy, man. It is just crazy, you know. It is just crazy. So Asians for Trump are freaking out like crazy. They saying that a similar fate that got the illegal immigrants awaits them, you know, because we saw Vietnamese, the Koreans, Chinese, Malaysian, the Koreans, you know, coming out. You know, some of them even flew from China. They came into the United States just to attend Trump rallies. They were saying they were Republicans. They were the Reds, you know. So there are these videos that I'd like us to watch one by one, so that we can listen to what these speakers are saying. By the credits to the speakers, salute for the good for the good work that you're doing, coming out and explaining yourselves. You know, it's good to pour out your heart because we are here. We're going to listen to you, and maybe we can give you a shoulder to lean on, and if need be, you can cry on too. So guys, let us get straight to it. I'll be back with further commentary, but before that, kindly, if you've clicked the video, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Take me to 1,000 subscribers, and of course I'll ask you most definitely to make sure that you like this video so that it can be pushed further by the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to comment, because I'd like us to have the conversation going on in the comments. Share this video to your brothers and sisters because they need it too. Right about now, straight into it.
The Trump administration, we used to have the most secure border under President Trump administration. And the world has no war under President Trump administration. Only President Trump has enough love for our children to make education good again. Only President Trump has enough love for our business owner and working class to make economy strong again. Only President Trump has enough love for our Americans to make our border safe again. And only President Trump has enough love for this country to make America great again.
Why Chinese Americans support Trump. All right. So the reason is the Democrat administration, Biden administration, lead this country towards socialism and eventually towards communist dictatorship. We came from China. We know this is the way. This is not like people here don't understand what is a communist is. We know communist is. what communist is. That's why we support Trump.
This is really interesting because I'm also Chinese American myself. So I know,
You haven't lived in China, I guess.
I did. I grew up in China.
Oh, when?
I grew up in China till I was 17. I'm from Shanghai. But
Shanghai.
yeah, I don't want to talk about my opinions because I'm a journalist. So I just want to hear more about your opinions. As immigrants, a lot of people might say that Trump is anti-immigrants or
Trump is not anti-immigrant. It's just against illegal immigrant. It must be lawfully, orderly. That's how the immigrant should be.
This is my outfit for today, and if you don't like it, you could leave.
Ta hãy nhớ tháng 11 cùng nhau bầu cho tổng thống Trump. Donald Trump, người xứng đáng cho chúng ta trao lá phiếu bầu. Donald Trump, USA, USA, make America great, great again. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump cho nhiệm kỳ này. Donald Trump.
We came from China, and in China, Trump is very popular. And
yeah, as someone who came from China, you're seeing communism here now, right, under Kamala Harris?
yes, we support Trump because in China we call him Dong Wang, which means the king who knows everything.
What do you miss about Donald Trump?
Make America great again.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Came all the way from Japan for the Trump rally.
Passport is sightseeing, but actually this way we are attending Trump rally. Okay. That's my purpose.
Here's why, as Asian Americans and young voters, we should support J.D. Vance all the way. After I did my research based on his policies as senator, and I took away all of the emotions. So, J.D. Vance, he's a Marine, and he's an American first patriot who's lived the American dream. He's only 39 years old. He cares about the working class families across this country that are really fed up with the disastrous policies of Joe Biden, big government liberals. He's done with that. And he's showed it through that standing up. He showed a willingness to overturn the election results and defy the Supreme Court rulings. He's fundraised for January 6ers. He's called for criminal investigations into Trump critics. He's made a complete 360. Yes, he's made comments in the past about Trump being against him, but he's turned around. He's called out the mainstream media. He doesn't care about funding Ukraine. He cares about America first. Most importantly, based on his background, he's for the working class families, and that's really important in terms of advancing working class policies. So I'm lining it up right here that he's minimizing the cost of having a baby. He's for maximizing child care policies. He's for expanding child care credit. And him being a family man, a father of 3 biracial kids, his wife is a kick-ass Indian litigation attorney, and that's awesome. They both graduated from Yale. The fact, too, is that he's young. He's only 39 years old. To me, he's a future of the party. We're no longer the grand old party. We are the great opportunity party. That's it. That is going to welcome everyone, and he's paving a way for the future for me as a millennial who wants to run for office one day, for the future of our country as well, and the Republican Party.
Did you know that there's a really strange reason why so many first-generation Chinese immigrants love Trump? And what's really interesting is that Trump's policies aren't exactly pro-Chinese or pro-Chinese immigrants, and yet it was obvious on platforms like WeChat during the 2016 election that Trump was a favorite. And some will even estimate that there's 3 Trump supporters for every Hillary supporter back then. And it's not hard to find a distant cousin or uncle who really loves Trump. In fact, I even had a couple of them in my extended family. And when it came down to it, there's a couple main reasons why Chinese immigrants love Trump. And one of the main reasons was affirmative action, which many Chinese immigrants felt was unfair. You have to remember that many of these individuals came to the United States solely to give their kids a fair chance at college. and some felt that their kids couldn't get into the college that they deserve simply because of their race. In addition to this, some of these Chinese immigrants also supported Trump for his policies on paying less taxes. And again, many of these individuals felt like this policy would benefit them as well as their kids. Basically, many of these Chinese immigrants supported Trump simply because of his policies, which can affect their personal lives. And for many of these Chinese immigrants, whoever made their kids' lives
I'm here reading the news that there are potentially up to 150,000 Koreans in the U.S. That are vulnerable and potentially a target for deportation. And that includes adoptees. I would very much like off this timeline, but we're going to do what we can to be prepared and to be kind and to not panic, and no matter what, we shall be kind, and we shall try to do our best to do everything that is right with the universe. The arc of justice is very, very long.
Waking up to news that mass deportation started today, so if you're an immigrant, please know that you have the right, and share this to everyone you know so everyone's aware. You have the right to remain silent. If ICE knocks on your door, you don't have to answer it. Do not consent to any searches if they do not have a warrant signed by a judge. They don't even have the right to be in your property, so please remain silent. Do not sign any documents, especially if you do not understand. If you're in public and ICE stops you, please remain silent. You do not have to disclose your immigration status. They do not have the right to search your belongings or your bag without a warrant. You do not have to answer their questions. Please do not give them information that they can use against you. Share this information to people that you know, your friends, your family, especially if they are undocumented immigrants. Please stay on the lookout. Look up for each other. If you spot eyes in your area, share to keep your community informed. And to my fellow immigrants, I know this is a scary time, that there are community and resources that can help you. Know your rights, and please stay strong.
Some 435 Malaysians face deportation from the US after receiving their final deportation orders from the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Citing data from ICE's Enforcement and Removal Operations Dashboard, Malaysians are among 1.44 million people currently in ICE's non-detention docket, Harian Metro reported. They were served with deportation orders after Donald Trump was installed as US President for...
I want to discuss how Asian Americans voted in last night's election because that was extremely unexpected. 56% of Asian Americans voted for Kamala as opposed to 63% who voted for Biden from 4 years ago. This is honestly quite underperformance because she's half Asian, so I figured more Asians would vote for her, but yes, that's not the case.
Our president has blamed China for so many bad things in America. And do you think if we lined up a Japanese person, Chinese person, Vietnamese person, Filipino person, Korean person, so on and so forth, that a lot of white people would be able to tell us apart? Nope. Majority of us would probably be labeled as Chinese. So the safety net you've casted for yourself because you did this the legal way, it could be taken away just like that. Talk about something called the optimism bias. This is a psychological term basically meaning people have this intrinsic belief that bad things will not happen to them. And I fear a lot of our Asian MAGA supporters fall into this category. We can remind them of historical events like the Chinese Exclusion Act, the Japanese internment camps, even like the history and campaign of how bad MSG is for you so that people will stop eating at Asian restaurants. There's a lot of people in the comments saying I'm fear-mongering, and I promise you I'm not trying to do that. What I am trying to do is send a little wake-up call. Maybe it's time to tap into like a little bit of our self-awareness, a little bit of empathy, because the danger with optimism bias is it's never us until it is.
Asians who voted red thought Trump would be good to them. Well, they fucked around and now they're finding out. Because who is Donald Trump? You need to ask yourself first, who is Donald Trump? Who are the people in his inner circle? Do they like minority communities? Do they like immigrants? Do they like communities, or do they like races that are not predominantly from America? They don't, of course. So Asians were the second largest minority group that voted for Trump because they thought he would bring communism, especially for my Chinese brothers and sisters. They thought that Trump would bring communism because they are used to communism back in their country in China. And when you go back to 2020, Trump called COVID-19 China virus, which led to unrest on the Asian community, with their businesses vandalized and other people getting killed and maimed. You know, everyone was mad at the Chinese. They were blaming the Chinese for eating snakes, frogs, you know, bats, and they brought about COVID-19. So Trump labeled them a very bad name, and it was really bad for the Chinese people, or the Asian community at large. Now seeing Asians supporting Trump because of his policies is something else. Which policies will favor Asian people in America? Asian American people in the United States? Which policies that Trump was talking about was going to favor them? I don't know, but Asians voting for Trump, someone who has always seen them as outsiders, thinking they were aligning with the winning team to safeguard their interests. Now, maybe we can just say that maybe they were trying to align with the winning team. Maybe they saw that Trump was going to win, and then they wanted to align with the winning team so that they can safeguard the interest. But guess what? Several of them were deported. 400 plus Malaysians were deported, and no one is safe. Even though this is happening right now, blacks had already prior warned them against voting for Trump, but they thought they were white, so Trump racial policies wouldn't affect them. They forgot that they were yellow. They were the yellow race. Anyway, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, Chinese, Malaysian are all cooked right now because no one is coming to save them. No one is coming to their rescue. They're getting cooked. They've effed around, and now they're finding out. So another thing that I can say about the Asian people is, before I end this video, is I don't think if the Asians seem to learn about a damn thing, because if you try to go back in history during the World War II, there were these Japanese who had been brought into the United States by the government to work after the abolishment of slavery. So black people had their own rights. They couldn't allow themselves to. They couldn't work for the white man with little pay or no pay. So they brought in the Japanese. And during the World War II, when Japanese was fighting against the United States, they bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and back home in the United States, they maimed, killed, destroyed businesses of the Japanese people. So it will surprise me to see Japanese people trying to trust these white supremacists. And then Chinese students were most of the times denied college scholarships and accused of being spies by President Donald Trump himself. So if all this is happening, this is someone, or these are people that you know, they have never had your interests attached, or they rather don't like you. Why would you go ahead and support them? I can say that the Asian people, they don't learn a damn thing. I don't know what's your take on this. We can keep on having the conversation in the comments, and I would like to ask you that you take me to 1,000 subscribers, and don't forget to like this video so that the YouTube algorithm can be favorable to me, and this video is going to be pushed to as many people as possible. And also don't forget to share this video to with your brothers and sisters, so that each and every person of us can get this information. And guys, I post videos every day. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you, because you're the one who keeps me to shoot this content. And because of that, turn on post notifications so that every time I post a new video, you'll be the first person to get notified about it. But right about now, peace out.